All right, guys, we've been showing the truck a lot of love. We've been showing the RX-7 a lot of love. Well, kind of. We took her apart, but you know, I guess that's love. And the Miata's just kind of been waiting its turn. But we were coming up on the drifts event. We need to knock out all the stuff we need to fix on the Miata, but also we have some cool upgrades for it. Some really exciting stuff I've been waiting for a while. So we need to flip them around. We need to get the RX-7 off the lift, push it out to the side while we're waiting on parts for it. Get the Miata up on the lift. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Let's get a better snap angle. Ta-da! Man, all I've done is move cars around. Already pouring sweat, man. Why am I wearing pants? I do this all the time. I come in here, start working wearing pants, have to go inside and change. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So, one thing I forgot to tell you guys, when I was working on the truck, which, look at how freaking, I love that thing so much. So good. So good. Can't wait to drive it more. Anyway, when I was working on that, I had the Miata parked out here, and it kind of got real wet inside. When we went to buy the truck, I left it outside with the windows out, got soaked, I vacuumed it out, and then the past 2 days when we were working on the truck, I was outside with the windows in it, but the stupid aftermarket top doesn't seal for anything, so it got soaked. My belts turned like kind of brown, and I tried to clean it out, but you know, it is what it is. So, okay, let me go grab the box of parts so I can show you guys what we're doing today. So what we were doing today on the Miata, we've got some fun stuff, mostly fun stuff, one not so fun thing. The fun stuff, destroy or die upper arms. So I have their drop knuckles, front and rear. The rears are dual caliper, the fronts are super angle. I love the way this car drives with them. It makes a ton of grip in the rear. The front has a ton of angle, great steering feel. So they just came out, I've been waiting for them to come out with these, adjustable upper arms. So these are fronts, this will be really nice because our bottom's adjustable, so we can adjust the bottom out. Keep the top in, top out, both together. We can do a lot more. You know, we can basically change our track width and change our camber, and we can change our camber very easily up here. And then the rears, they're eccentric adjustable, which is amazing. This is absolutely the way to go on a Miata because you don't have to unbolt the arm, you don't have to do anything. You just hit this, already scratching them. Hit that eccentric, change your camber. That's one of the huge benefits of a Miata because it is double A-arm, upper and lower. So like a 350Z is multi-link. Basically, if you pull the camber arm in to add some negative camber, it's going to change your toe. So then you go change your toe, and that pulls a little camber out, and you just kind of go back and forth of those. This, you just pull it in, pull it out, your toe stays the same. It's absolutely amazing. So I've got some makeshift adjustable ones on there that are kind of sketchy. So like I said, I've been waiting for these to come out. I'm hyped we finally have them. So we're going to throw all these on. We got some sweet stickers. I'm going to actually have to put a sticker on my car because these look so nice, and I like them. We've got a 3 to 4 inch dealio here because we need to redo the back half of our exhaust because it got broken again. It was 3 inch coming out, but it looks a little too small in the opening of the exhaust. So we're gonna go to 4 inch, we're gonna turn it back to straight pipe and do a bunch of stuff with that. And then the not so fun thing we gotta do, I'm gonna hit my head walking backwards, but this way the light is this way and it doesn't get super dark. Other thing we're gonna do is the freaking steering rack. I'm pretty sure it broke again. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, it seems like it basically, at the event, during the Lone Star Drift Pro-Am comp, it basically stopped wanting to turn right. Something's wrong with my rack. Oh no. Shit, man. Like, it was really hard to get it to turn right. It turned okay to the left and it would bind up randomly. So I'm thinking we got like a broken tooth bouncing around in our steering rack. And yeah, so we need to fix that. I got another power steering filter because we put this N-line filter in a bit ago just to keep contaminants, like trap contaminants. So I'm gonna change that as well in case we did damage our rack and have metal floating around. Just try my best to keep this from happening again. I really don't know how I could have broken a rack like in one event, but we'll take it out and we'll take it apart and we'll try to find out. So anyway, fun stuff to do, not so fun stuff to do because the rack's kind of boring, but I think we'll start there, and while we're there, we'll go ahead and do the front upper arms because we'll have some of the same stuff taken apart and it'll make it a little easier. So, oh no, drop the stickers. Let's get to it before I knock anything else over. All Alrighty, removing the steering rack. So this is something that used to be kind of a pain, and I've gotten pretty used to it, so it's not so bad anymore. So first, obviously, we got to pull all the wheels off since we're going to be working on the front and the rear. We pull the skid plate that I made off. I really like that plate. It comes off really easy, super easy to fit up, and protects kind of everything under there. So now it's the dry sump blinds that we have to remove. The first time I did this, I tried not to remove these, and it was just a nightmare trying to get the rack in and out and get to the bolts. It's one of those things, a little more work, like 5 minutes more work, ends up being way less work in the grand scheme of things. So we undo the tie rods, obviously super simple. Steering joint, pull that out, which now comes on and off super easy now that we got everything working right. Return hose, pressure hose. Alrighty, our steering rack is out. I have become a freaking pro at pulling these steering racks. Like I said last time, we did this. At least the more the car breaks, the more I get better at fixing it. The more better I get at fixing things. So we got to pull off our tie rods, our inner and outer. We got to pull off our adapter fitting for our A and line, and I think that's it. We have to remember to shave this stuff down on the next rack. Last time I did this, I forgot to shave this spot, and there's another spot down here you have to shave to get it to fit in the subframe and clear the oil pan, and I forgot to do it, and I went to put it in. I'm like, oh crap, I took it all back apart, pulled it out, fixed the one spot, put it back in, realized I didn't do the other spot, put it back, took it back out. So anyway, don't let me forget. I guess you guys can't really do that right now, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. All right, let's get to it. Lollygagging. I've been lollygagging today, guys. I'll be honest. I'll admit it. Been lollygagging. Not a fun project. Steering rack change. Not one of those things that I'm like, let's do it. Alrighty, ladies and gents, mostly gents. We have the new steering rack in the Miata. I'm gonna show it to you from this side because the lighting, it just you can't see anything from the other side. But new steering rack is in. It's all set up. I have been debating on whether I want to unhook all the lines, flush the system out. I do have a new filter, like I said, and these are not cheap. They're 20 bucks, 22 bucks. So if I'm gonna replace it, I might as well flush it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just suck it up, pull all the lines off, pull the bumper off, pull the cooler off. I'll probably just swap the cooler. I have another one, and then clean this one out and keep it as a spare. But just to be thorough, just to make sure we don't have any other issue. The only thing I'm afraid of with doing this, you know what? No. We didn't lose that much fluid. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it back together. I'm glad I just thought about this. So I'm gonna put it back together. I'm gonna fire it up, and then I'm going to go see if the steering is fixed. So then we'll know if it was the rack, because I mean, it could be the pump. It could be a combination where the rack was a little bent and the pump's getting worn out. But, you know, if we flush the system, change the filter and whatever, and it turns out the pump is actually bad, then we'll have wasted a filter, we'll have wasted, you know, all that time and a cooler and everything, because we're gonna have metal through the system immediately again. So I think what we'll do, since it's mostly hooked up anyway, and it's not really much more work, we'll put it all together, test it, see if the issue is fixed, if it was just the rack, or if it's a rack and a pump, or if it's just the pump. And once we know that, you know, if the pump's good, then we'll flush it and do new filter and all that stuff. So anyway, what that means is we can move on to the next part of the project. Control arms. So these are kind of be a pain for me. So the annoying thing for me about my car, about taking these out, is this bolt goes all the way through. So you got to take this bolt and you got to slide it all the way out here. The problem is, for whatever reason on this side, I don't know if my factory sway bar bracket is bent, and I got these hoses running through here. But I could not, last time I did this, I couldn't get the bolt all the way out. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll start with this side and see how it goes. Well, as expected, this bolt is being an absolute pain. So let me see if I can show you guys. Let's get a white here. Give you guys a better representation. So, sorry for the shakiness. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's basically like a welded on nut on the inside of this for these bolts to go into factory. I think this bracket is bent up from the sway bar, and because I know these do commonly bend, so this bolt, like, I'm trying to pry it up to get it past that point, but it's just not happening. So I don't know, I've either got to try to bend this bracket back down. I'm not really 100% sure a good way to do that. Maybe I have to take it off. The problem is it is bolted on, but there's a spot weld on each side. I would not be able to drill out the spot weld on the other side because the engine's there. So it's just, I don't know, I'm sure I'll figure it out. Success! Hoping it goes back in okay, but I'll show you why it might actually go back in okay. So anyway, we managed to get it out, so that's good. Hopefully the other side is still good. I think I did like shocks or springs or something on the coilovers, and I had to take them out. And when I did that, The passenger side came out fine. Oh, but that side got hit. Oh, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Anyway, let me show you this side. So they're normally like this. You can take a gander here. See how they're straight? Look at this one. This thing got freaking torqued, dude. I didn't even know it was bent, and it's all bent to hell. That's crazy. So that might be part of our problem, why we couldn't get like the right angle to pull the bolt out. So yeah, I'm gonna take the other side out, inspect it, but man, this thing's toast. So I guess it's a good dang thing we're freaking upgrading to these destroy or die ones, because those look a lot beefier than that. And obviously we broke that without even hitting anything. So probably a good thing to upgrade. All right, I'm gonna try to take this other one out. Like I said, fingers crossed for me that it comes out easy and we don't have to fight it as much. Find out. If you guys remember, when we were in Texas, we had a little run-in with Zach at high speed. After that, during the comp, it was when my steering started acting funny, and I noticed that my passenger side here had a bunch of camber. Well, let's see if I can film this. You gotta hold the light, hold the camera, hit an impact. So watch that bolt. You ready? You see that? It is destroyed. Destroyed. I mean, that could be part of our steering bind. I mean, maybe not. I don't know about that, but it definitely is a problem. So the other problem is we got to get that bolt out, and it's already kind of a tight squeeze. So I'm going to try to slide it out. I doubt I'll have any luck with that. Yeah, I'm going to probably have to cut it, which is going to be real tricky in that spot, but we're going to get to it. We're going to figure it out. We got this. I have faith. We got the other one out. Of course, this one has had something wrong with it too. I had to jinx myself. Let's get to it. Got it. Hopefully the other part of the bolt comes out easy. That's interesting. Or it doesn't appear to be that bent. Ta-da! You can't see it because the wheel wells are so dark. Ta-da! It's out. It's freaking out, guys. Whoa, that was a struggle. Honestly, that went quicker than the last one. Getting that last bolt out over that thing just took forever, but this, I had to cut it twice. So I cut it here, and then, took this piece out, and I tried to hammer it this way, and I was like, oh, it's bent further in somewhere, which you can see it's bent right there. So that piece was just binding. So what I did was I then cut here, and then hammered it out that way, so I didn't have to take the bent part all the way through that channel. So we got it out. Luckily, Ben, my roommate, parts out Miatas, so we can just grab another bolt for when we put the new arms in. And yeah, so at least they're out. What's weird is this is a side that was hit. It did bend the bolt, but it didn't bend the arm. This side was not hit to any time that I can recall, and the arm is crazy bent and the bolt's not. So I don't know. Super weird. Super weird. Did not expect any of this, but I'm freaking drenched in sweat, man. So I'm gonna go make some food, take an AC break, and then we will install the new arm. All right, well, I cooked myself some lunch. I had a nice break, and then I decided to do some quick tinkering because some stuff came in, and I wanted to do some tinkering to the trailer real quick before I forgot, because it's stuff I've been putting off. So one, got new safety chain hooks where the springs actually work, so they aren't gonna fall off. So that's good. We got that done. And then also, I've been missing this hatch cover since I bought this trailer. I've been meaning to measure it and figure out what size it was. But one of those things where I'd always been, oh, I don't want to get the ladder out and climb up on the trailer, and then when it was hooked up to the truck, I was going somewhere. So anyway, excuses aside, finally ordered one. It took forever to get here. Finally got it. And I had to do some redneck ingenuity, and basically the little circle thing that should like clip in there was too small on this deal, so I self-tapered and used like a giant fender washer to give us the, to basically hold it in that center groove. I guess I should have tightened it a little more, huh? But, I mean, it works. Got plenty of thread engagement on the screw. Goes up, comes down, tightens up nice, so fixed. Okay, back to the Miata. Just want to show you guys that. A couple people commented like, Taylor, are you ever gonna replace that hatch cover? And I was like, oh, you're right, but I already ordered it, so I'm trying. Okay, back to work on the real project of the day. Tinkering is just so fun because you feel like you get so many things done and they're all pretty easy. Doing like big projects that are a lot of work to do like one thing, I don't know, to me they're not as fun just because you're not getting as much little stuff done. So anyway, enough excuses. Again, with the excuses, let's get to work. Let's get these new arms on. All right, we gotta swap the bushings first, and then we'll throw them in to the car. I'll show you guys that part. And this tool cart is a freaking mess. Drives me nuts, but like, I tried to clean it up midway through, and then this happened again. We don't know what we're gonna run into with this project with the bolts, so I'm letting it be. So we got our bushings in. It's time to install the arms. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with this side because everything's over here, even though that side's probably gonna be our problem side because we couldn't get that one bolt out. But I'm hoping that we couldn't get that bolt out because the control arm was at a weird angle or something. I don't think that's it, but I'm gonna hope, right? Why not? So adjustable upper arms are super convenient on these cars because it generally allows you to adjust your camber without messing with anything else, and it gives you more of an adjustment range for everything else. So anyway, really hyped on these, hyped that they look sturdier. I mean, obviously these are way sturdier than our stamped steel ones, so I'm sure they will hold up to all the abuse we throw at them because the stock ones did not. So anyway, let's get this arm on. Enough jibber jabbering, let's get the slabbering parts on. I keep walking past this tire and cutting my arm on it. I really need to move it. I almost did it again, but each arm has been cut on the wire sticking out of this tire today alone. So okay, I'm still jibber jabbering. Turn the camera off now. All right, okay. Alrighty, so getting the new arms in. So the bolt fights us a little bit going through the sway bar bracket just like it did coming out. So we finagle with that. We tried a different bolt. I greased it. I ended up coming up with like a good little process, prying up and hammering and whatnot. But once we figure that out, it is super straightforward. Just bolt the shock up, bolt the upper ball joint in, and we're pretty much done. All right, our new arms are in. They definitely fought us a little bit with that bolt on both sides, but I had a method. I pried it up and then I tapped it. We got it in. Jamming out to some music. Man, music, if I'm having a real rough time on what I'm working on, it doesn't get me hyped. It like gets me frustrated. But if things are cruising, it gets me hyped. Anyway, doesn't matter. We got our nice adjustable upper arms in. I've got them all the way in right now. I'm curious to see kind of where our camber ends up. It looks like it'll be similar to before. I think it might be a little bit cambered in. So I haven't hooked the tie rods up yet because I do need to center the rack still and then center the wheel and then bolt them up once I do that. So I gotta go get my spare arms out of the trailer because they have my poly bushings in them. I've been running stock bushings in these forever because I meant to run them for one event and then I just never got around to changing them. So now we have new ones. I need to go steal the bushings out of my spare arms, put them in these arms, put them in the car. Let's get to it. Alrighty, pressing the bushings out. Whenever I press bushings or press whatever, I try to do all of the same thing at once because a lot of times to do different parts of pressing a bushing out, for example, you have to set the table at different heights and it's really annoying to switch back and forth. So basically I'm pressing all of the inners with the sleeves out and then I go to press the outers out and I'm actually able to just push them out by hand. So that made that part pretty easy. So then we need to put the bushings in the new arms, which goes super easy. We grease them up just to make sure they slide in easy, they don't get caught and they don't fight us. And then we're like, all right, let's try to install it by hand, and boom, goes in no problem. So we throw all the inners in at once, press them down on the table to get them to seat fully, do the other inners, and then just popping the outers on. Bop, bop, bop. Now that we have the bushing swapped over, we got to pull our old arms out. Pulling rear arms off this car is honestly really, really easy, especially if you have an electric ratchet. They come out in no time. The only difficult part of this whole project is just changing this upper bushing out. So the new bolt is a little bit thicker. It's a thicker diameter bolt because it's an OEM style eccentric bolt. So we have to change the bushing and sleeves to a larger inner diameter one to fit that bigger bolt. All right, so some sweaty time later, they're in. Let me show you guys how they work, because I don't think I've ever showed you. So we are basically maxed in right now. So watch the top of the wheel. Just make this ratchet the easiest. Okay, so watch the wheel. And we come out. So that's our positive camber. The other way is negative camber. So that's what I want. So what I'll do is I'll just tighten and lock it down there. I start it max out on both, the way I have my lower control arm set up. And usually I'll just have to pull one side in if it's a track where we're going just one direction a lot. So that's usually where I started at, just all the way out on the top. So anyway, they're in, they look nice, they fit nice, they have good clearance. So stoked on them. Now we got, I mean, look at this freaking rear suspension setup. We got nice destroyer die drop knuckles, dual calipers, extended studs. We got adjustable upper arms. I mean, stock lower control arm, but with bushings. And then we got BCDS coilovers. So real hyped on the rear suspension. Happy to have some nice stout adjustable arms in here now that are not Ben's, that I'm not stealing. Ben also helped and put this arm in because I was, it's taking me a while to get the one in.
I just wanted my nice parts back.
Yeah, Ben just wanted his adjustable arms back. I thought, oh, it's funny. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna throw. I'm gonna move on to the front. I'm going to center the rack, hook the tie rods up, check the fluid, run it. We're gonna drop it down, run it, see how it is. All right, moment of truth time. Did the rack change need to be done? Do we have a bad pump? That would be one and the same thing. Or is the pump fine? And we did need to do the rack change. So. Wait, no, that'd be too different. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Basically, is the pump good or not? That's what we're about to find out. So, we got it filled up with fluid. Okay. Let's see. Remember, we couldn't turn right. It's going to be real loud, but. No, it's good now. One-handed, no problem. Okay, so it looks like our rack was the problem. I do still want to take that rack apart, but I am beat for today. It's already late, it's about to get dark, so I'm gonna clean up the shop. I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna relax. So that is gonna be it for today's video. We do have a couple more things to do. I'm gonna do the exhaust on it, but we didn't get the part in time. I need like a 4-inch 45 that I'm waiting on for it to show up. And then we got truck stuff coming later this week. We got a lot of stuff coming for the truck that I am super hyped about. So really exciting stuff. We're gonna register the Subaru. We're gonna go street drive that. Try to work out the last bit of bugs with it. We got parts that came in for it. We gotta pick up parts from paint for the Ls Miata. We got so much going on this week. Real exciting stuff. So I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.